All right. We back again.
Back again.
Are you here?
Yes, I'm
You here this time?
This is Kyra, and this is Robert from Evenly Yoked TV. See? I mean, I had to do it because it's been a while.
No. I'm Robert.
And this is Kyra. Yes.
And we are evenly yoked.
Whatever you want to say, y'all. What's up?
So I had a question. Let me let's look at this real quick. And then I have a question to ask you. Oh man,
another one I haven't seen.
Check this out.
All right, let's see.
I'm gonna say this: regardless if I'm the father or not, right? I'm still gonna be in that child's life.
In the case of 10-month-old royalty, Daryl, you are not.
I always have that. Remember when Medea did it?
Hey, why would I spend my money if I don't know that's my kid?
So there's not any chance for you and Courtney to have a relationship.
No,
is that right, Colin?
No.
She only hits me up when she needs.
I've been trying for you for 6 years! 6 years!
I'm more interested in this result, okay? In the case of 1-year-old Rylan, Colin, you are not.
Lord, he going around everybody.
Maybe we can bring
everybody dapping and everything. You know, one of my
Don't say it.
No, I was gonna say one of my coworkers.
One of your coworkers. That's what I'm saying. Really?
Yeah. So I have
Do you have that video?
I don't know exactly how to pull that up, but I had a coworker that was on Maury, and I had a coworker that was on Jerry Springer. So both of those would. So with both of those experiences, I know that both of them are fake.
And they told you, right?
Yeah. So both of them are fake. They get you
from
to go
what
on there.
Well, told.
like this, for instance, like with the Maury situation.
Right.
Like my boy, I wouldn't even call him my boy, but you know, he's used to build tires in the same area where I do.
Right.
And so he had a baby. It was his baby.
Okay.
He was on Facebook and all of that, claiming the baby long time before I seen him on the show.
Okay.
So then he go on the show, and then I guess they tell you to come up with a story or whatever about how
it could not be his baby.
Yeah, how she conniving and got all these other dudes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was on there. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. I was like, hey, bro, this bro.
But it really was his baby, though, right?
Yeah, it was for real. The brother, he got like 9 kids. I said, all the babies is yours. But that ain't even the question. My question for you is that do you feel like, based off situations like this, because even though that the story is fake or the show is fake,
right?
A lot of times people are end up in these situations where they done their father and a baby that ain't theirs. A lot of times.
Correct.
And they don't know. Correct. So with that being said, do you think that paternity tests should be mandatory in the hospital before you sign the birth certificate?
No,
What?
No.
You don't. You said no.
I don't agree with it.
You don't think it should be?
I don't agree.
Why?
I don't agree because I believe that's something that should not be state mandated. It shouldn't be a requirement. Please, you know me. I believe some of these tests shouldn't even be mandated or required. Let alone if I come into the hospital with a man, you know, and this man comes into the hospital with me,
right?
You know, for it to be a possibility that now he, you know, I think that's between us. Mm-hmm. That's for us to make that decision, not for it to be mandated on me.
Okay, so for instance, let's say you was banging some dudes before we had babies, and like you didn't tell me, and I asked you, I said, hey, you know, I want to get a paternity test for our kids.
I'd be like,
it wouldn't go over smoothly.
It wouldn't go over smoothly.
But you know what does go over?
Not.
You know what does go over smoothly?
What?
Prenatal vitamins. You know why?
Because they're for the betterment.
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Sometimes.
Because they told you ahead of time that it's something that you're gonna have to be doing, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah, but you know many people don't take prenatals.
But do you know what they're telling you essentially when they say, "Hey, you need to hop on prenatal vitamins"?
You're gonna need this because your body is not sufficient enough to give the baby
your body
what it needs.
Your body,
alone. That's what prenatals
your
are.
body is thoroughly sufficient to produce a baby. What they're telling you is that your diet is more than likely.
Well, yeah, your diet.
Your diet is more than likely garbage because of the society in which you live. So we know you're not going to be eating well. So this is what you need to do. They're telling you ahead of time that we know you're not
going to be eating well.
They're telling
you the right atmosphere.
They're telling you ahead of time that we know you're not going to do what you're supposed to be doing. So this is why you need to get on this.
So you want to take DNA test.
So what I'm trying to say is the reason why it goes over smoothly is because it's already expected. So if you already expected for there to be a paternity test done at the hospital, then it would already be a smooth process. But I don't see why you wouldn't want that to happen. Why wouldn't you want that to happen? What if that was your son?
Because what that does, and yeah, I gotta think about my boys. You know, I got 3 little kings. But what that does is that puts people's character into question. And I don't believe
does it?
Because it does.
If it's mandatory, it does.
It does.
It's just gonna happen no matter what.
It does. It puts everybody's in the world's character into question.
So does it put your character into question when you gotta go through TSA?
Sometimes I be feeling like that.
That's not putting.
I'm like, yo, don't be touching all on me. Why I gotta get rid of my shampoo that was good?
But that doesn't.
Just bought it and had to let it go in Atlanta.
That doesn't call your.
Your girl was upset.
That doesn't call your character into question. They don't. You're not saying, hey, I think everybody's a
But this is more of the reason. Why is whose baby it is any of the government or the hospital?
It's not about the government. It's about the man.
But why is it there? Then the man and his family or whoever is guiding him needs to say, hey, this probably ain't your baby.
Well, I think
or let's make sure.
Look, everybody don't got no situation where it's like they're us.
Okay, so can you decline it?
I think that you should be able to if you want to.
Okay, so what if I declined it and you said yes?
Then it's done.
Then it's not gonna go.
No, it has to be done.
Why?
If either party say so.
No, but why wouldn't it be if either party don't say so, then it can't be done?
Because to me, if you would say, like for instance, if I said, yeah, I want a paternity test, and you said no, I already have my answer.
That's not true.
I already have my answer. It tells me that you've been out in them streets.
No, it doesn't.
That's what it tells me.
What it does say is, why would you think that of me to even want to get a? Yes, that you.
No,
that
because
was
if it was already, but if it was already law,
no, but you know.
But if it was already law, that wouldn't be what you thinking, right?
No,
because if it was listen, if it were law and it was something that you got to go to the hospital to decline or not decline, it's already there. I mean, for me, I'm not gonna say, nah, don't test the baby. I know it's mine. You see what I'm saying?
But if you know it's yours, why
maybe I said that wrong.
If you know it's yours, why do you need a test?
But what I'm trying to say is that
why do you need a test?
You technically, as a man, you don't know.
What do you mean?
You don't know. You're not sure. It's just like I tell you all the time. It's just like I tell you all the time. Me personally, I'm pretty sure. But what I'm trying to say is that everybody is not you and I. I think, I tell you.
I have heard this 3 ways. Hold on.
Let me finish. Okay. Because, for instance, I work overnight sometimes, right? So I know countless dudes whose wife at home got pregnant. Like it's white dudes at my job and stuff like that. And they wind up having black babies, and they like, oh, but you don't think they should have the paternity test done in the hospital so they can see those Negro genes in there?
Before it goes there, you have flags.
What's the flag? You don't know. You at work.
Signals.
You don't know. You at work. You trying to do your thing.
But that's just like you at work, and there's many people up in there that's getting dead at work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right.
You can not come home right when you're off of work, and then wonder, oh, what you doing in between them? Like Tasha used to say on Medea. I know his resting heart rate from the job to the house.
Hold on, let's go there. That's perfect, right?
Right.
So let's say, for instance, I passed away, right? And then some lady from my job come in here and say, "Oh, well, you know, this is Robert's baby. I need some of that. I need some of that money that
we're gonna test that baby.
Why? You don't just believe her?
You're dead.
But you don't just believe her?
You're dead.
You don't just believe her though?
You're dead.
But see, the thing about it is, if the paternity test was mandatory at the hospital, then you'd already know.
It's one of those things where it's, even in that situation, it needs to be your choice. I live in a place.
I agree. You should have choices, but I think it should be.
And I think that men should live in a place of where, hey, if you're gonna be honest, then you should expect other people to be honest. Okay. But if you think that people are lying to you, you're probably lying too.
Okay. So with that being said, let me run it to you like this. Do you know that if you sign not the paternity test, but if you sign, like for instance, let's say one of our kids wasn't mine, the birth certificate, I've signed them all. So it don't matter if it belonged to some white man across the street.
You have to
No, it's not to an extent. It's because I signed the birth certificate, I'm liable for the child support.
You sure?
Period.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you sure?
I'm very sure. Period. Okay. 18 years old.
Until 18.
Yep.
And nothing can be done with the judge.
Maybe. You might be able to go to court and get it thrown out. And I think it would have to be an absurd situation like the baby being half white.
Or just saying, hey, let's do a DNA test.
You can't just do that. They don't.
Not my baby.
Plenty of people is on child support for babies that don't belong to them. Like, for instance, even if, for instance, like, you know for a fact the baby isn't yours because, like, let's say, for instance, you already had a baby before we got together. And we got married, and let's say, for instance, I've been taking care of the baby for the last 8 years, but I never signed no birth certificate. We never did no adoption. You can have child support drawn from me because of that.
Really?
Yes, because I've been taking care of the baby for so long, the baby is now accustomed to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like these things don't go both ways.
Is that fair for that to be mandatory, though? But it's not mandatory for a paternity test?
You have to remember, like, we try to tell our boys and we try to make sure that they're around a lot of good black men and men in general, that they're not an anomaly.
Yeah, we teach our boys responsibility all the time, but why don't we want to teach the same thing to the girl?
What I'm saying is, unfortunately, there's not a vast majority of men that are out here still taking care of their kids.
Really?
If things go wrong, or
really,
don't you think it's more on the opposite side?
Do I think there's more bad men than good ones? No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if there's more bad than good, but
no.
And I think we do. I think we hold girls just as much as accountable.
I don't think so at all.
I think we do.
It's not even close.
We do. And the difference is she has to carry that baby for 9 months. Yeah. And she's going to have that baby no matter what unless she goes and gives it up.
So should she just be able to pin the baby on anybody?
Let me ask you this though. Do you know how many cases?
To trick them and fool them into signing the certificate?
Do you know how many cases they can do that but they don't get no money for?
No,
these kids, they're not getting money from these men.
By pinning it on somebody, because you're pinning it on somebody who don't got a job.
It could be the real daddy.
But that real daddy, if you're not getting no child support, it's because he ain't got no job. That's the only way you don't get no child support.
He ain't got no pot to piss in.
Right, that's the only way. So that would mean,
or he's going under the table, or he's moving in and out of the system. He'll work at the job for a little while before they can say, hey, we know he's there, and then he goes and jumps to another job. It's smart.
I think that adds more to the point, though.
That
no,
they're not always the best.
So that's your choice. You laid with them.
Okay, so
if you lay with a bum, that's your consequence. You see, with what you're saying, you're absolving the woman of guilt for laying with a sorry man.
No.
She is not.
I'm sorry. She is not absolved.
No, that's what you're doing when you say something like that.
No, she's not absolved, but you do have to remember too that he's not absolved for laying with her. And just because when he laid with her that one time, maybe that didn't have the baby, but he laid with her other times. And let's say like those guys, he were in that baby's life and he was saying, hey, I'm going to be there. If that baby was like 4 or 5 years old, knew him, I think it's very honorable of him to stay in their life. Maybe not like be like daddy, but at least for that child to still know him because they've already known of him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So cool. So
like he's right for saying that. But now, if the baby is, I think maybe before, they say usually kids don't remember things before 3 or before 4, I think it is, years old, they'll forget it. So if they're 3 or younger,
so he shouldn't have no choice about whether or not he's on child support for that. Then, is what you're saying? You should.
No.
You
I'm
should
saying,
have a choice
no,
to deny a paternity.
No, what
test,
I'm saying is,
but you shouldn't have a choice.
I was just saying it's honorable for him to want to still be in that child's life.
Is it?
Even though the baby wasn't his.
Is it? So what about when that woman gets a new man? Then what? He's supposed to just put up with a baby. The new man's supposed to put up with baby daddy drama from a man who ain't even the baby's daddy?
No, hopefully the 2 men and the woman.
So now
will be able
the whole
to
community is coming together to raise up somebody's child who don't belong to neither one of them.
Hold on, so you just went out of. So now the baby is not that. Yeah. So now the baby is not that man's, and now she's with another man, and it's not his either.
Right. So now everybody's on the hook for that baby.
Well, you know what a lot of
you said
you
in
know
your
what a
other
lot of kids
scenario
say.
where you laying with the man who ain't got no job, so you ain't getting no child support.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes they say, "Hey, I have a bonus child, and they get 2 and 3 dads. Why not? They get 2 and 3 moms. You know, that's the new thing. Is that hey, the more the merrier, right? Nah. Okay. Well, let's end it on this note. Which child do you want to do a paternity test for?
Oh, my kids. All you got to do is look at me and look at them. You know them mine. Hey, if they was somebody else's, I'd be highly surprised. All right, well, with that being said, hey, if anybody watched, we would love to see you in the comments on this one. All right, peace.